Hey friends, welcome back to my channel, Organized with Joy. In today's video, I am going to be sharing with you a DIY project and also some deep cleaning here in my kitchen nook. So I saw this DIY table that was done by another YouTuber, and he made it look pretty simple, but it really was not. In the end, it's not perfect how it turned out, but I still really like it for my kitchen nook. And so you can follow along with this process. And I'm also adding touches of fall to this space and adding some fall touches to my coffee station. So if any of this sounds interesting, I hope that you might continue watching.
For this project, I used one 28-inch 2x4 board and then 22 of these 1-inch 6-foot long dowel rods, which I will cut down into 28-inch pieces, two 15-inch round boards, and then one 36-inch round board. Here, I'm just trying to locate the center of this circular board. I'm going to be screwing this circular board to the 2x4, and then I will also screw the other circular board to the other end to kind of create a structure for the base. And then you'll see what I do with the dowel rods to create this base. But I will say I can link the video below where I saw this being constructed. He will probably do a much better job of explaining everything to you. So if you are interested in recreating this, maybe you should check out his video as well. So now begins the process of cutting these dowel rods down into two pieces. Each 6-foot piece created two 28-inch pieces with a little bit left over. And I didn't show the whole process because that would have been very boring, because it ends up being 22 dowel rods creating 44 pieces. And as you can see, I'm just using one kind of as a template to cut the other pieces. My cuts on these dowel rods were not perfect, so they left a little bit of a jagged edge, so I decided to just go ahead and sand all the ends. Again, not showing you the full process because that might get boring. Here, I'm just trying to decide which color to stain the table. And I had these 3 different color of stains in my home already, which I knew I liked all 3. So I just decided to go ahead and use the extra ends of the dowel rods so that I could figure out which stain color I wanted to go with. Now comes another repetitive and boring part. I'm just using my nail gun to attach each of these dowel rods to either end of the circles on this table base, and you just keep going around and around until all of the dowel rods are attached.
Okay, I haven't really been recording this, which is good because I got a nail gun to the thumb, but I'm just showing you the reality of this project. It is not going perfectly. You can see some of these nails are just coming right through. It still feels sturdy, but this is definitely not going to be as sturdy and nice as Drew's table.
Y'all, after that nail gun incident, I was really nervous to use the nail gun, but I kept powering through. So what happened was one of the nails went through kind of diagonally and hit my thumb. It didn't actually go straight in. It just kind of went through the flesh of my thumb. It definitely was scary. It was bleeding really badly, but in the end, it's healed nicely. So it's fine now. I don't know about y'all, but every time I do a project, something always goes wrong, and I actually kept putting off doing this project. I had the material to do this project for several weeks, but I just kept putting it off because I was so afraid about how this would turn out. And here I'm finally putting in that last piece, and let me tell you, that felt so good to just have this portion of the project done. And here I'm just adding these rubber feet to the bottom just so that it doesn't scratch up the floor that it's sitting on. And it just also makes it a little bit more stable as well. Here, I thought I was showing you the name of the stain that I chose, but I was showing you the wrong side of the label. But I chose Special Walnut, and after doing 2 coats, I realized that it wasn't quite as rich of a color as I wanted it to be. So I also did 1 coat of another stain that I had on hand called Early American, and those 2 colors combined just made the perfect color. As you can see, this is on a different day. After building that base, I really needed a break from this project. So here I'm just determining the center of this table. I'm going to do a rough sketch of the 15-inch circle on the table so that when I flip it over, I'll have kind of an outline of where I need to adjust it to so that the tabletop is centered. And here I'm just showing you the wood glue that I used to adhere the tabletop to the base that I have constructed. So this project from the get-go was not exactly going according to plan. I had a very difficult time gathering all of the supplies that I needed for this project. The tabletop and all of the dowel rods I ended up finding at Home Depot. The dowel rods I actually ended up having to go to 2 different Home Depots to get the number that I needed. And then the 2 round pieces that I used to attach the dowel rods, those I ended up getting at Lowe's. So it was just kind of gathering things from Home Depot and Lowe's. And then, like I mentioned, the project was not as simple as the YouTube video that I watched made it look. So it definitely was a bit of a challenge, but in the end, I was really happy with the result. And here I'm just adding these storage bins on top just to give it some weight so that the glue can really work and adhere the 2 portions of the table together. So I went ahead and let the glue dry. I don't remember how long. It was probably an hour or 2 just to be on the safe side before I started applying the stain. And I decided to, again, just do what I did with the bottom portion and start with that special walnut stain. And then I'll go back in with the other stain after this dries, the early American stain. So I did just want to tell you that this was not necessarily a super inexpensive DIY. I know DIYs are supposed to be cheaper than if you were to buy the item itself, and that was definitely the case for this. If you're not familiar or don't know, wood is not cheap right now. It's fairly expensive, but this definitely was a fraction of the cost of some of these popular fluted tables that you can just buy from furniture stores. They can be $1,000, $2,000 and upwards. So it was definitely a better deal for me to make this on my own. Once again, here I'm showing you this stain and thinking that I'm showing you the name on the stain, but I'm not. But the name of this stain that I did on top of the other stain was called Early American. Here we are on yet another day, and I did bring this table to my kitchen nook where I wanted to place it, and I didn't share the process of putting the protective top coat on this table, but I did put a protective top coat both on the base and on the top. On the top, I actually did 3 coats just to be sure, since, you know, obviously there's going to be food and whatnot on the top of that, and it will need to be cleaned off from time to time. But I did want to just go ahead and take the time to get this kitchen nook nice and clean and do some deep cleaning in here so that I can style the space with this new table. thought about getting some new dining chairs to go along with this table. I might do that in the future because I would really like to have 4 chairs for this space. But for now, I'm just using these 2 armchairs that I have on hand, and maybe sometime down the road, I'll find some chairs that I really love for this space. Next, I'm moving on to styling my coffee bar, and I have these 3 jars that came in a set, and I have another set of 3 jars that I used to have on my coffee bar, but the syrup gets the bottle tops and the toppers really sticky, so I'm just switching these out for now, and I'll just rotate them every once in a while so the other jars can get cleaned. And of course, what fall coffee bar is complete without some pumpkin spice syrup for your coffee? I absolutely love pumpkin spice anything. Well, that is all I have for you in today's video. You'll have to let me know your thoughts on how this DIY table turned out. Even though I know the imperfections, I am still loving how this table looks in this space. And I hope this video gave you tons of motivation and inspiration for your day. Thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate you watching until the end. And if you're not yet subscribed to my channel, I would love for you to consider subscribing. Thanks, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.